Meantime, the investigation into Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server enters a new phase. According to sources familiar with the probe, formal interviews have been set up with some of Clinton's closest longtime aides. But the process could take months, which means it could extend well into the general election campaign. So what's the effect? Shane DeApril, the publisher of Campaigns and Elections magazine. Welcome, Shane. You know, Chris Steyerwalt wrote in his FoxNews.com column today that it was just over a year ago, well, actually it was a year ago today, that we were told that Hillary Clinton's email server had been wiped clean. There was absolutely nothing on it, we were told. The disclosure had been made a few weeks earlier that this thing existed. But we have since come to learn that wiped clean it was not, and there are a whole lot of emails out there that contain classified information. This cannot be good for her campaign going forward, especially if the final decision isn't made yet.
Well, John, I think one of the big problems for Hillary Clinton here is that everything, as more details have come out about this investigation, the Washington Post article that details how the email issue developed and certainly indicates that this investigation is of a much larger scale than certainly the Clinton campaign has been willing to admit to this point. That's a long-term issue for her. And I think it's a bigger issue in the context of the Democratic primary for the party, looking at Hillary Clinton as the likely nominee, simply because she right now has an opponent in Bernie Sanders who isn't even talking about this email issue. He's decided to not make it an issue in the campaign, yet it very well could be a serious liability for Hillary Clinton come November.
Yeah, we'll get into the liability issue in just a moment, but the last time that she publicly spoke about all of this, just about 3 weeks ago, during the same week back in early March, including a town hall with special report anchor Brett Baier. Listen to this.
I've heard others say that neither you nor your lawyers have been apprised that you are a target of the investigation. Is that true?
Absolutely true.
At the time you and your staff deleted nearly 32,000 emails, about half of the total volume, were you aware that the server was going to be sought as evidence by federal authorities?
No, but let me clarify this, because, you know, there's much misinformation going on around here. And let me just start with the basic facts. I have said it wasn't the best choice to use a personal email. It was a mistake. However, I am not alone in that. Many people in the government, past and current, have on occasion or as a practice done the same. Nothing I sent was marked classified or that I received was marked classified.
When you take a look at her poll numbers, she's not doing particularly well. The latest poll on her honest and trustworthiness ratings among registered voters, 34% say that she is considered honest. 64% say she is not. Those who consider her honest, that's a new low for her. Those who consider her dishonest, that is a new high. If you are a politician, Shane, running for the highest office in the land, those are numbers that have to be pretty disturbing.
Certainly, and John, this underscores the longer-term problem for Hillary Clinton when she gets into the context of a general election. She has got a serious issue when it comes to honesty, trustworthiness. We've seen that for a long time. Certainly, the email issue has only deepened that problem with the general electorate. So, with Bernie Sanders not making this an issue, you really have to ask the question from a political perspective whether or not Hillary Clinton emerges from this Democratic primary as sort of battle-tested on this particular issue as she might need to be, certainly because whoever the Republican nominee is, whether it's Donald Trump, whether it's somebody else eventually, Hillary Clinton is going to face a withering amount of attacks from the Republican nominee on this issue. It goes regardless of what happens with this investigation, right? Even in the best-case scenario for Hillary Clinton, which is that she's cleared of any wrongdoing after this investigation finally concludes, there's still a serious question of judgment here, and whoever the Republican nominee is going to jump on that come the fall.
But look at Bernie Sanders. I mean, as you point out, he hasn't been making an issue of it, and yet the guy won 3 states over the weekend. There's got to be a reason for that. I mean, Hillary Clinton seems to have, you know, shot her campaign in the foot with this email controversy, which is entirely of her own making.
Yeah, and the challenge for Bernie Sanders really is, you know, can he actually parlay any of this momentum to some of these bigger, more diverse states? We haven't seen any indication he could do that. But I think really, even if he, let's say he wins the state of Wisconsin, then you're looking to some of these larger states in the Northeast, New York, New Jersey, and you're looking out to California eventually. Bernie Sanders is not going to win these large states by large margins. That means he's not going to, even if he outperforms, he's not going to catch up in this pledged delegate count the way he'd like to. So that means for Bernie Sanders, if he's got any chance of winning the nomination, it's peeling off superdelegates. Well, frankly, a good way to do that, at least from the perspective of Bernie Sanders, is to make an electability case to superdelegates, and that, at some level, has to involve talking about this email issue. It has to involve talking in a more direct way about Hillary Clinton's electability in a general election against whoever the Republican nominee is.
But she seemed to try to dismiss this whole thing. As I said, it's been, you know, percolating now for more than a year. A year ago, we were told the server had been wiped clean. The fact that it is going to go on into primary season, the FBI is investigating, and the investigation seems to be broadening with requests to talk to some of her right-hand people. There could be real trouble down the road for her campaign.
Certainly, John, I think that if the Clinton campaign thinks that even, like I said, in that best-case scenario, that she's cleared of any wrongdoing in this, if the Clinton campaign thinks that's the end of the issue as a general election issue, they're nuts. There's no way it is. It's going to be a major issue. It goes directly, it impacts, you know, her numbers on trustworthiness, honesty. I mean, this is a big thing for Republicans to exploit in the fall. So it's a problem for her either way.
When nearly 2/3 of the voters out there don't find you honest and trustworthy, that doesn't bode well for a campaign for the Oval Office. Shane DeApril, Campaigns and Elections Magazine. Thank you.